And I've been changing as life gets harder. It's taking me back to the beginning. I'm trying to have faith in what we're learning from the time we spend. Is it the end of the world, or am I just a dreamer? We all went too far when you gave up on us. When we were flying, now we all think we should have stayed closer together. Just remember this, the sun always comes up. If you lay down and sleep, you'll never be able to wake up. So let me hide myself inside a dream, and I can stay away from all my fear. When I close my eyes and I can see my dreams come alive. But it's so hard to leave a comfort zone. Let me hide myself inside a dream, and I can stay away from all my fear. Let me hide myself inside a dream.
A moment you never forget, a moment you never regret. The best people are the ones you've not met yet. The moment you don't wait, the moment you create, the moment the whole world will celebrate. Let's rock, don't stop. Let's roll, don't stop. Let's roll, stop the world, build your world like a real.
Okay, so please give me your feedback about the Lost Islands game, and particularly with reference to how you felt the game was for you, and maybe some feedback and some feed forward about how it could be improved, experience for you from either a design perspective or from a facilitator's perspective.
So I really liked the game. I think it was really well planned. I think it has a nice structure, and that it's very useful to improve the teamwork. Yeah. I would make just two suggestions. The first one is when you're playing the game, maybe give some time for people like read the instructions. Read that one part and say, okay, have you understand it? And then maybe explain with a small example, because you were reading it, and for example, I've read like the whole paper like in a couple of seconds, so I was not following what you were saying. But if you add something new from what is written there, maybe it's easier to understand the game. I understood the game, so it's not a difficult one. But maybe with some examples, people that were a little bit lost would have been more engaged. And second one, more time, because I think we were getting the point of the game a little bit later. I mean, it's a really interesting game, and what happens with interesting games is that it takes you a little bit of time to really get into the movement. But besides those two things, the time while you cannot control it because we have a small slot of time, it's okay. But the other one, maybe you can think about it, like through examples. Maybe there's people that doesn't understand it either way, so just by playing, but maybe with examples it's easier. But besides that, I really think it's a nice game. I will have loved to have played a little bit longer, even though I was like a little bit stressed because I was always surrounded by drained Iceland and I couldn't like do nothing, but I think it's part of the game, so thank you for bringing it.
Excellent, thank you very much indeed. So we had the game before lunch, the Lost Islands, and one thing I noticed is that you left early, so I would just like a little bit of feedback from your point of view as to how you perceive the game. Was it something that was challenging for you because of the instructions or the game itself, or was it part from my facilitation? What would have been better? What could have improved it? What could have made it better for you?
Okay, there is nothing wrong with your facilitation, but the game was really complicated for me. I was just listening, I'm like, yeah, it's too complicated for me. And also, I decided to follow my gut feeling in everything because of my human design recently. And if somebody's telling me something and within 30 seconds I don't feel attracted to it, I usually skip. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm interested in that. It does not necessarily mean that it's something bad or it's not well prepared. It's just, I'm just not interested and it's okay.
So what would have made it better for you? Knowing what you know now, what would have made it better for you and more interesting for you to stay?
I think we will never know. It's just first 30 seconds, if the idea catches me, if the interest is like, oh yeah, I want to do that, yes, I'll do it. If no, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Okay, so...
It's for everything in life now.
Right, okay. So, depending on the circumstances and kind of the way things are with you, from a personal introspection, it wouldn't have mattered whether you already knew about the game and I presented it in a different way. If you just weren't feeling it, you wouldn't take part. Is that kind of correct? Or...
Can you repeat again?
Depending on how you're feeling at any one moment, even if you knew about the game and I presented it again in a different way, would it have still have the same result as
you mean like even if I knew some information
Yeah.
But even but after, if I would still step out if I didn't have this interest.
Right.
Yes, I would step
Right.
out.
Okay. So wasn't necessarily the game itself or its facilitation.
No.
It was
It's
just the fact.
Yeah, because sometimes, for example, some people say, "Oh, let's play a board game," and I just go, "Okay, explain me the rules." And if it doesn't attract me, I'm like, "I'm out."
Right. Okay.
Sorry, I'm not gonna invest my 30 minutes for this game.
Okay.
If it doesn't seem that attractive.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's just whether I have interest here or not.
Right.
If the idea catches my attention, I'm in.
Right.
If not, bitch out. So yeah.
Right. Okay. That's cool. Much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Matilda, you experienced the LARP game, Lost Islands. So I would just like to ask you for your feedback regarding the game itself for the developers and to the facilitation from my perspective.
Well, I don't know if I have. Well, I can. Is this the first time I'm playing a role-playing game, or I haven't been playing for years? I couldn't say. So I was very, also because of the language, but I was very lost at the beginning when you gave the instructions because there is so much information to get. But the paper is super clear and complete, even though it took me 2 to 3 times to read it, 4 years to catch it, and so it asked me a lot of concentration. It was a last morning of the session, so I wasn't so aware. At the end, I liked it, but also I'm not very fan of competitive, and I'm not like I want to win the game. I basically don't care. So I wouldn't maybe be the most proactive. And by the way, I didn't know how should I play this and what will be allowed, what won't be, or what would help me for sure. So yeah, it really took me a lot of time to understand what I was doing and how I should behave with the people around me. The comments you gave were helpful. And I'm happy we finally won the game by no hazard at all. But whatever. So, I mean, I think my comment is probably doesn't make so much sense because make so much sense because I'm not used to those games. And I guess if I would play more, I would have entered more easily in the game and understand how it works and what to do, and maybe I would even have been turned up by the game, which I wasn't really like. I wanted to support you and to take part of it, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like exciting for me. Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe in facilitation, if you're doing with people that don't know, maybe you can add something that's bringing excitement or enthusiasm at the very beginning, like an energizer or something. But also because there is a lot of rules, for sure, you're gonna lose the people at some moment. Like it's gonna, even if you make it up, there's a chance that it goes down. So maybe you can find something to deal with that. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. The game that we played before lunch, the LARP game, which was the Lost Islands. Any feedback for the developers and possibly for me as a facilitator?
For the developers, no. But as a facilitator, and this is mainly a reflection on the way I processed it. The only way I can learn games that are anything other than extremely simple is to play the game once or twice first before I understand how to play it. And so it was too many instructions, there was too much information for me to be able to sort of absorb. So the first 3/4 of the game I felt frustrated and anxious just because I didn't understand what I was doing. Once I got the hang of it, it was great. Once I teamed up with someone and I understood what I was doing, it was good. And I think if I was to play it a second time, I would enjoy it 100 times more than the first time, simply because I would understand from the beginning what I was doing. So it was just too much. It was too much information and too many instructions for me to be able to just understand what we're doing. The other thing I would suggest is that even with the instructions, it wasn't clear what the goal of the game was. And I think even the participants who did know what they were doing, there was a bit of a lack of clarity on what was the end game. So yeah, if it seems like negative feedback, it's not meant to be negative because, like I said, it was good. It's just it took quite a while to really grasp what was the